Thank you so much for stopping by. So I wanted to kind of share with you the progress that we are doing with our expanded garden bed. What I will do is make sure that I link the video below where we got the garden beds. We got them put together, and so it's a slow but steady process. Before I get started with what we have in the garden beds, I wanted to kind of share with you my vision and where I want to go with it. Now I'm gonna have to do this fast because I don't want my husband to hear it, because one of the things, y'all, that I really would like to add before I show you some of the stuff that I picked up, one of the things that I would really like to add is like a fence around this area that's about 3 to 3.5 feet tall. But that's gonna have to be either last or next to last, because if I kind of pitch that to my husband about a fence here in this area, he's not going to quite grasp it, because my first question, I'm telling y'all, we've been together so long that I already know what he's gonna ask me. And the first thing he's gonna not get is, why would you put a fence inside of a fence? Because the yard is fenced in, so he's not going to understand why I'm going to put a fence inside of another fence. And it's not like the fence that you see back there. If you went to the big box stores and you saw like those black fences that I want to say they're about 3 feet high, and it's just for design aesthetics. Basically, that's what it is. But I would like to go ahead and just put that around this whole area. But like I said, that's going to be last, or either next to last. The other next to last thing that I would love to add is like a couple of lampposts in this area. I just think that would be so beautiful. And when you see what I've been picking up, you'll understand why. Something about light, something about candles, something about that ambiance is what I really like. Now currently we do have a few spotlights out in this garden right here, as well as some of the solar lights that you see standing tall back there. And even over in this section of the garden that is right over here, we have some spotlights as well. So it's just something about me and lights that I absolutely love. But before I show you what I planted, I want to show you what I picked up to go in this area. So really quick, and then we'll go back out to the garden and look at everything we planted. So we have like some solar pathway lights here that we picked up. And then we also picked up some more solar lights that are LED that we're gonna line the pathways with. And then right here is like the pineapple solar stake, which just fits us and our brand and our business very well. Southern Entertaining with the pineapple, Southern Hospitality. So I just picked these up because I thought that these just fit right in. So we are going to incorporate them into the garden. These maybe not necessarily in the expanded garden, but we're definitely going to incorporate them in. But like I said, it's something about light that I just absolutely love. And so I would absolutely love to have some lamp posts to go there as well, to be nice and lit. So let's go over to the garden and I'll show you what all we have growing. So the first thing we did was go ahead and just kind of put wood chips all over this section, because I don't want to have to do a whole lot of weeding. So we got wood chips down, we got some weed fabric in conjunction with cardboard down, so that we don't have to do a lot of weeding. And see, this is why it probably won't make a difference, but this is why I wanted the little small fence to kind of section off this. So I'm trying to figure out, do I want to lay the, what do you call it, in the landscaping, where it kind of separates the grass from the wood chips? Because I'm telling y'all right now, I'm not going to be getting out here with this spade pretty much every week trying to separate the two. So I'm going to have to come up with something that I need to do so that we can keep this nice and clean. But for now, we're just going to go with it like that to separate it. So right here we have one of the David Austin Darcy Bustle roses that we picked up. Right here, it was blooming really pretty. Still has a few blooms on here, and I actually have to get in here and deadhead it. But we have one right here, and then we also put one over in this section as well. So we have those two roses. And then if you remember our video where we did the container planting, this is the update on that. They're really growing nice. Kind of like I suspected, the coleus is really trying to take over this area. And I didn't put this one in here. These are like the African daisies, I want to say. They have like a butter yellow with the purple center. I picked these up for $1 on clearance, so we put these in its own container. And I also need to cut back these petunias, but everything is doing great as far as the container garden. Now right here, we have some compact cucumbers that we planted, and I made sure that I labeled it. This is the Salad More cucumber. It's 55 days from seed to maturity, and I don't think they get any more than like 24 inches tall. So we put like our little trellis here, and we're growing them in containers. And then this is one of the Roselle plants that we grew from seed. We started indoors. Now this one is a little bit slower. I'll show you the other one in a minute, because I have actually been harvesting off of that, making some tea, but I'm quite sure this is going to catch up as well. I had planted a lot of seeds, and what I did was ended up selling every last one of them that I didn't use. We only planted 2 this year, but I wanted to see how they did in the pots, because I may just like in the future line them in the ground. So we'll see about that. We also planted some more corn in this section of the garden, and then we planted some basil that I had left over that I needed to do something with. So we popped in basil on this side as well as this side. We got green here and purple over there. And these are another variety of cucumbers that we planted as well. So we'll go ahead and let them grow up the trellis. Okay, so if you remember, I had a lot of basil that I planted because we soil blocked those. So here is another row of basil. And then we planted a few zinnias and some marigolds right up front. And I just lined this and the other one with the straw, basically because this area gets a lot of super hot rays during the day. So it's to try to hold that moisture in, and it's also for weed barrier as well, because right now I do not have any irrigation. I actually come out here and water these 3 raised beds until I can try to figure out if I want to run my own irrigation. And I've also been looking online at different irrigation options. So I'm still watering everything by hand until I can figure out what I want to do. Now, you all know I had to put some beneficial plants here that the pollinators love. And when I tell y'all the pollinators love this, probably because it's raining and thundering, that they're not hovering over these 2 plants. This was in our plant haul, and I'm telling you, from early morning up until late in the evening, it is full with bees and all type of beneficial pollinators. So we put this here so that it could help our plants in this area. And then this was also a clearance plant that I picked up. I want to say it's a beard tongue, but it was one of the clearance plants that we picked up. So let's go ahead and go over to the second bed, which is a little bit more established, because I had already had these plants out that we started from seed, most of them, and so they were just ready to get in and get growing, and that's exactly what they did. And really quick, we have some black-eyed Susan. This was also from the plant haul. These are starting to get the flower buds on here. This one is very, very sick, very sick. I'm hoping it'll come back, but you know, like I tell people, that happens. Some of them make it, some of them don't. Because I'll move right here real quick. This one is flourishing nice. This is another black-eyed Susan, but just basically in this bed right here, we have some purple basil, and we have some nasturtiums, and we have some calendulas, and we have about 2 different types of peppers. And one of the peppers is pepperoncini that I was introduced while living in Italy. It is just a nice tasting pepper, not too hot. The way they prepared it was basically you kind of fry chicken, but not with the flour on it. So you fry the chicken naked, but you don't fry it all the way. And then you pretty much can the pepperoncini. You take the juices, pour it over there, put the peppers in there, infuse the flavor, put foil on there, and just kind of let it bake until it is done. But it's really good. So these are the pepperoncini peppers, and we got lots of buds that are forming. I've grown these before and they do very well every single time I grow them. So these two are pepperoncinis, pepper, and I forgot what this one was. But one thing I don't do is I don't put like my regular bell peppers in the same area with my hot peppers because of the pollination, and I don't want like the bell peppers to take on like a hot flavor. So all of these are like mild peppers. And so if you remember me telling you about pinching, that's what we've been doing, and I actually have to pinch it again. But this is the purple basil, and I'm actually going to do a video hopefully really soon on ways to dry or store and preserve your basil, because I need to go ahead and start harvesting these so that we can continue to have lots of basil throughout the season. And the more you harvest, the more they continue to grow. So we just have like a line of the purple basil right here, and then we have some more calendula that is right here. If you all can see, we have two types here. We have the Resina and we have the strawberry blonde. And so what I do every day, kind of after the dew has dried in the morning, is I come and pick all the open ones up and I dry them, because we want to make calendula oil, and we also want to use it in our teas. So I have calendula growing all over the garden. So this is our second bed right here, more established. These two right here, we just been popping in plants. Right here, let me tell you about these real quick. This, I'm trying zucchini and squash in another area, because in the other part of the garden we got wiped out by squash vine borers. So I just want to see if it'll make any difference. I planted a squash and zucchini, and I know I did. I remember that I did, but this didn't pop up. But when I direct sow, I always like to plant 2 per hole, and so both of these germinated well. So what I did was carefully picked the second plant and put it over here. It struggled for about 4 or 5 days, but it looks like it's popping back. So hopefully the squash vine borers won't migrate over here, and we can have some nice squash or zucchini. I forgot which one was which, because once again I keep saying I'm gonna label stuff and I don't. And then these are the some more tomatoes that we picked up. Which one is this? This is the Little Napoli tomatoes, and if you remember the video, we had Little Napoli and Little Italy. These are the compact Roma tomatoes. We planted 2 of those. And you guys, make sure you follow me on Instagram, because I did a story. When I was planting this one, I actually got bit by a spider on my neck, and I was so scared, because we do have poisonous spiders in this area. I was freaking out, and so I had to end up telling my husband that I got bit by a spider, just in case something happened. You know, I told y'all I don't want to go to the hospital for absolutely nothing at all. But I did get bit by a spider. Don't know where the spider came from. Never seen the spider. I just felt something like a sting on my neck. And when I took my hand to like see what it was a big spider that fell off. So everybody, let's just be careful. But I had my long sleeves on, I had my hat, I had my boots, and it happens. But I'm so thankful that everything was okay for me. Right here, these are our straw flowers. And then this was a tomato that I picked up a while ago, because during the summer months, our tomatoes don't do good. They do a little bit better in spring and then fall, but this is a variety that is supposed to be able to take this heat and this humidity in this area. So far so good that it's growing, but we'll see. Because another thing that I would love to do in this area is some kind of way put up some not lamp posts, but some posts like 1, 2, 3, 4, where I can eventually kind of shade this area, because when I tell you it gets sun, it gets lots and lots of sun, and it gets it for a lot of hours. So I know that some of the plants really suffer during the heat or the hottest part of the day, because their leaves definitely look wilted. You would think you have not watered it, but that's not what it is. It's because the sun is beating them really, really, really bad. More purple basil right here. I had some extra zinnias, red, that I had planted, that I popped in this line right here. And these are, it's called the Big Duck Marigold from Park Seed that I picked up. And I'll try to flash a picture of it, but we planted like red and orange in those right there. And then we have some more of our, what was this called? Little Adler. I don't know. It's very beneficial. I'm telling you, the bees and butterflies, everybody is all around those two plants right here. And unfortunately, I had ordered some more roses like a month and a half ago, and with everything going on, they said that it was going to definitely be a delay. So I really didn't think nothing about it until I got a UPS notification that says they're on the way and they'll be here, and I have no idea of where I'm going to put them, because I actually am using those particular roses for our herbal teas and things like that. I really would like to make a herbal garden, but I told y'all, slow and steady now. I just can't go pulling all this stuff on my husband like that, you know. But he is a little bit glad about this area. Less grass that he has to cut, but I need to make sure that I keep everything with nice lines and not let the grass take over this area and look a mess. Okay, so really quick, we got some pots right here. This is ginger that we bought from the store, organic ginger. I had it inside, and then when it got hot, I brought it out here, so we finally planted this. And then right here, this is turmeric that we did the exact same thing to, so we're just letting those grow. And then this is the other roselle tree right here, or flower, but look how much difference it is from the other one. You got loads and loads of the roselle here. And with any of my plants, I am going to go ahead and let, like, some of the ones that first flowered and put on the roselle, especially this one right, oh sorry guys, especially this one right here, I'm actually going to let that dry and go to seed, because with most of my plants, I sacrifice at least 1 or 2 just so I can continue to save seeds and just hopefully over the years not have to buy a whole bunch of seeds. But I actually have been harvesting from this, and it is very good. I actually added this and just a little bit of ginger and some tea. Very good. This is also another tea that is has a lot of benefits to it, so read up on it, research it. But we have a bunch of these growing, and they're so pretty. And then right here, this is our moringa plant that we also started from seed inside, and I didn't know how it was going to be, so I actually started more seeds than normal, and we ended up selling those as well, because like I told my husband, people are looking for these. They're basically looking for something that they don't sell at the big box stores most of the time. So the roselle was definitely, we sold every one of those, and we sold every one of the moringa. I got 2 that I started a little bit later because I sent my dad some seeds, and he couldn't get them to germinate at first, but then he had a few extra seeds, and so I started some for him just in case he couldn't get those to germinate. But I think they germinated just fine for him. And so basically this is the new section, and like I said, I want to put those lights that we saw earlier, I want to line these pathways with it and just basically do some, it's not necessary, but it's basically for design aesthetics. When I look out of the kitchen window, I just want to see beautiful things, and I just love looking out here, looking at the progress of the garden so far. And We just got a lot more things that we want to do, but we're just going to work on it a little bit at a time. But I just didn't want to keep you guys waiting, because I definitely told you that I would definitely be keeping you updated on the progress. So here is the progress so far. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I hope you share this video with your family and your friends. Also, make sure you give it a thumbs up and leave a comment below and let me know what you are growing so far this summer and how is it doing in the heat of this summer. And if you're not a subscriber, we will absolutely love to have you as a subscriber. So make sure you tap the bell so that you can receive the notifications each and every time we upload a new video. Again, thank you all so much for watching, and until the next video, bye bye.